The next 48 hours will be absolutely critical for the markets. This is something that most of you do already know, as we do have the rate hike decisions coming up, but many are unaware that there's other parts of the world that also have their decisions. So there's 20 central banks that have their rate hike decisions. The list will include all of these countries over here, which is the US, UK, Switzerland, Norway, Taiwan, Brazil, Egypt, Turkey, Indonesia, South Africa, which I spelled wrong. That's hilarious. That's my country. And many others. So let's see what happens in the markets. There is going to be a lot of volatility for today. I do expect some sort of a range to potentially form. And believe it or not, if anything, I think that there could be a slight little push up in the market just to capture some extra liquidity. And then I think the real move happens, of course, on Wednesday and over Thursday. The rest of that move should play out. So I wanted to touch base on something which is the Bitcoin rainbow chart. This has started to trend. And essentially what this shows is it pretty much is similar to that long-term logarithmic regression curve chart that I show you guys, which gives the ultimate lows, and then it shows on the upper end or the upper end of the spectrum how high price could go. So for example, if we had hit the top of this rainbow chart now, that would put one Bitcoin at a price of $259,000. So it's always got those moon boy targets. If you go as far as 2025, you're looking at $750,000 per Bitcoin. So you can see we're currently caught in the lower band, but what these guys have now done is they've added an extra color. Can you believe that to the bottom, obviously in anticipation that price is going to go down further. So I just think this is the funny thing with all of these different on-chain metrics and using these kind of analysis tools, is that ultimately your best friend is always going to be the trend. And I really would shout from the rooftops as loud as I can that you guys should be focused on the trend above anything else. That should be your primary source of truth. And then you can start to play around with these fun logarithmic growth curves and the rainbow chart. So just keep in mind, if you guys ever do see things like this, it doesn't mean that if we break down into the purple now, that's an absolute dip buying opportunity, because that would mean that Bitcoin's in a very strong downtrend and things could get worse, So rather wait for the uptrends, which fair enough, these things do show the uptrends once you start to break out of the blue band into the green. That is a strong sign of accumulation. And with that accumulation, you can expect continuation to the upside. So something interesting that I found over there. Also, I wanted to show over here that what happens if it started to go like this, you see? It's a bit of a joke over here, but that is the thing, with these assets that are going through a hyper growth phase. It starts to form like an S curve, and some people have claimed that we're at the top of the S curve on Bitcoin, and I'm a big Bitcoin believer in the long term, but that's why I definitely stick with the trend or side with the trend. Anyways, back into the actual charts over here, looking at Bitcoin on a weekly chart. So yesterday, this candle was looking absolutely terrible. Bulls managed to fight back. And with charts, it's kind of like trench warfare when you get to a key critical point, which is the weekly range low. It also lines up with the 2017 pivotal key level, which is where the closes happened near the highs. And then we have that 20,000 psychological level that we kind of at. So I look at these charting zones as trench warfare, where essentially you're going to have bulls and bears that are constantly battling as hard as they can to either push price above or below those certain levels. And therefore momentum will kick in and they can take control and play out the rest of their moves. So with that being said, looking at this chart over here, I put this line in yesterday in the daily candle newsletter, and I said, if price were to close for the week anywhere underneath here in the red zone, then you can expect over the next week there will most likely be continuation. And the weekly chart is telling you that your next target remains at 16,153. I can put another chart just like this in over here, and you can pretty much do the inverse, stating that if the bulls were able to defend this area and the week is able to close above the previous week's close over there, then I would say that bulls have the opportunity to push price all the way up to about 21,836. And yesterday I did give a long call which has a similar target area. I'll get onto that shortly, but that is nothing more than a dead cat bounce in my opinion, and any longs that you're taking within this area should be taken with extreme caution because the overall risk continues to remain to the downside. So moving on, looking at Bitcoin dominance, still tracking on up. I'm not sure if it's going to breach back below these levels at about 38%. On the Bitcoin dominance, I'll be targeting definitely at the very least 44%, which is the mid-range and that previous diagonal line that did get broken down on Bitcoin. 3-day chart over here is a very, very important one. I think that there's a lot of alpha at the moment and edge that can be taken out of looking at the 3-day, 4-day, and 5-day charts have been working phenomenally well, engaging what's going on in the market. And you can see still stuck within that major bearish downward parallel channel. And then we had the range within that channel. So the bottom of the range, mid-range, and the top of the range. And this is kind of what my long scenario that I gave yesterday was based off of. I said that, look, if you want to give bulls the benefit of the doubt, then you kind of want to go long here, anticipating that they're going to defend that area. They're going to push price straight back into the range, maybe for one last try. That one last try would most likely take it towards the mid-range. I don't necessarily anticipate that it will take out these areas over here at $22,409. I think that most likely price pushes just before there, and that's where you find your next lower high. So something like this, you would anticipate something like that, and then it would probably roll over because there is going to be a lot of resistance over here, and you can see it is starting to now form a continuation of that downtrend. So watching that area carefully, I just put this in on the mid-range of that parallel channel as just a interesting area because price tends to react on these the middle of the parallel channels, and you can see that level comes in at exactly $12,000. I can probably lower it a little bit. It depends on when it hits, but give or take, it's a 10 to 12K level, which we do know there's a tremendous amount of support within that region. So we'll be paying close attention to this chart. From the long-term bullish perspective, I really don't think that there's any need to get overly bullish unless this level gets cleared, and I'll mark it out for you over here. If you start to take out this zone and you close above that $24,000 to $25,000 level, so this box over here, then you can start to think about getting bullish. And the reason is because you'll be clearing this massive cluster of what is forming a resistance here within this channel, as well as the range over there. So you're going to break the bottom of the channel, or the top of the channel that's coming down, and you'll break out of the range. So if price can get into this region over here, then you can start to think about getting bullish, and the whole picture might begin to shift. But for the time being, risk remains to the downside, and you're better off playing it exactly that way. So with that being said, also, if you do like these short videos, today's one's going to be pretty quick. Please make sure that you give this video a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and then also to get into the Discord community, the link is in the description below. You can use any one of these affiliation links over here. You lose nothing, and I really appreciate it as it does help me. Okay, looking at the Bitcoin Super Guppy indicator, still the same expansion over there. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is starting to turn red, so I will expect more volatility within Ethereum than Bitcoin over the next coming weeks. Let's look at some of the altcoins and how they are faring up with this chart over here. So very, very similar, also just turning red on near. What about Solana? Solana turning red. ApeCoin had a massive pump. Let's see what that one looks like. So this one broke back above its Super Guppy indicator. If it can start to hold here, then potentially that could flip green. However, I'd be doubtful that it's going to defy the whole market. I do know there's some sort of staking rewards that are going to be offered to those who are holding ApeCoin and those who have bought apes. So I think that's potentially the reason why you have some hype over here. I know you have the Cardano Vassal hard fork is coming up in 3 days' time. However, when you look at this as a chart, it looks no different to Bitcoin or Ethereum. It actually looks significantly worse, to be honest with you. So stuck below the red, would need to get back above those levels, at least get back above 51 cents and hold there for any sort of change to happen. What about Matic over here? Oh, Matic actually flipped its one green, but it looks like it's going gray again. Might start to turn back over red. Let's look at BNB. Let's just quickly get that off. Sorry about that. Okay, BNB is just flipping red. This is a chart that I still think that BNB, despite its stubbornness to come back down, I think that it does have potential targets of about $145. Nothing has changed on my high time frame analysis charts that I have given you guys previously on BNB. It's still exactly the same story. It just takes a little bit of time to play out. Okay, let's move on to this chart over here. This is just the daily chart that I have. And I kind of think if we do have some sort of a pump, then yeah, this is the primary area that I'll be targeting. As mentioned, I don't think we'll close above this area or necessarily even wick above that zone. But I think a push towards at least just before there at about $22,000 is very, very possible. And that is the long scenario that you'd be looking to go short directly into with your invalidation above this wick over here. So short opportunity will play out perfectly there. I'm going to give you the free alpha right now because obviously this may play out over the next day or so. And therefore you can already pre-prep for that. This is what you'll be looking for to flip short immediately. If you want to be conservative, you'd continue to play it as a range. As I've shown you, you'd go short, stop loss at about 23,142, and then you'd want to short this all the way back down to the range though. That is if you're conservative. If you want to be aggressive, I literally think you can short this thing all the way down to about 16K looking for new lows. And if you were to do that, that would give you a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 8.6, which is a brilliant risk to reward ratio. So that is a trade idea for you over there. Let's look at Bitcoin on the daily chart over here, stuck below the all important EMAs that we look at. So nothing has changed over there. Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart, momentum oscillators are starting to reach, at least over here on the stochastic RSI. I would expect this to start to turn over at some point soon, and that might give a little bit of a pullback. Then the question is, do we have one more pullback like this? Do we have something like this, reaccumulate, and then try another leg back up before the FOMC tomorrow? Or is this just going to roll over like that straight away? I don't know. You need to make the decision for yourself. Pay attention to the momentum oscillators and see how they are panning out. Okay, Ethereum, let's have a look. Yesterday, I mentioned potential targets would be the 0.786, which is at $1,126 on Ethereum. Nothing changes. That's still a possibility, especially if this one does roll over. Looking at the Bitcoin long trade that I gave yesterday, remember, I did mention it like this. And by the way, guys, I did put this as well in the, here we go, in the Discord. You can see I put everything in there. Gave your entry 18,314, stop loss 17,366, your take profit at 22.7, and then I wrote stops to break even, so no one should lose a cent now. So pay attention, stay in the Discord group over there. If you are not already in my private community over there, use either the OKX link, the BitGet link, or the BYBIT link below in the description. When you send your user ID into the Discord, it will ask you for your user ID. If you signed up using my affiliate, they'll let you into the VIP, and that is essentially where I drop these trade ideas. So carrying on with this, looking at this as a deviation in the same way that you had 1, 2, 3 over here, and the same thing that you had on the top, and it looks to be playing out. I put a question mark because we're not sure if it is going to play out that way, but it looks like it is so far. So everything is up. Stop losses have been moved to break even. If you took this trade, you're already 7% up without any leverage. With leverage, using 5x leverage or so, you're up way more than the double digits. So going good. I would say once you clear this level at about let's actually put in a box for you over here. If you start to take this zone out over here, I would anticipate that price needs to get above 20,400. If Bitcoin starts to clear and hold a 4-hour candle above that level, then this next target at the 22.8 does come into play. But I would consider taking at least 50% profit into the zone. So that would be your TP1. TP2 comes in at the top, and then literally you can pretty much immediately flip short. Let's already put that one in. As I have shown you on the other chart over there, I'd look for something like this. Immediately flip short like that, and then target straight back down to the range low and possibly even beyond. Let's move that up nicely. Put it right next. So let's see how this plays out. I'll be amazed if it plays out exactly according to this little white line over here. So we'll watch that carefully. What about Ethereum though? Ethereum didn't take any trade on this, but now this area is going to be problematic. The support area is most likely, I'm anticipating, going to flip into resistance. So if you are in any Ethereum longs, be careful when it gets to around $1,450. You need to see how it reacts over there, because this looks like it's starting to form. Look, you can probably put in a nice little trend line over here, and not perfect, but something like that. I'm kind of expecting some sort of a rejection. I don't even know if it's going to make it through this trend line over here, but kind of watch that area carefully, because here is your level to clear on Ethereum. You want to get above that zone over there, which is the support box coming in at $1,450. So quickly touching on also with Bitcoin over here, I saw this account over here by Rect Proof. He's quite a big account, 170,000 followers, quite a good trader. He says that this is kind of what he's seeing, which is similar to what I'm seeing over here. You see that deviation below up, then it's like a little bit of distribution over there, then again another deviation, and then send it straight back up like that. So same sort of trade idea over there. The one good thing that I see over here for Bitcoin and Ethereum from a bullish scenario is that you have the previous 2017 all-time high area, and that has been now recaptured. Also a very simple trend line over there on a 30-minute chart, and you can see you got lows, higher low, and you have higher highs that are starting to form. So it is trying to establish, at least on the very low time frame, a bit of an uptrend. Let's see Ethereum in relation to its all-time highs. So 2017 all-time highs stuck below. So you can see that some of the Ethereum dominance must be moving into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is performing a little bit better currently. I haven't looked at the ETH BTC chart. Maybe I should quickly pull that up before we finish. Let's go on this one over here. ETH BTC. Where do I have it over here? Let me quickly grab that, guys. ETH BTC. I do have it. Grab it on the bottom there. Okay. Ethereum, Bitcoin. I want to look at this on a weekly chart. Okay, so this area, let's grab this box. I did cover this actually just before the merge, and I was watching this area over here. This is going to start to look like a bit of a Bart Simpson over here. If you pull out the Bart Simpson cartoon character's head, it will look something like this, right? These tend to come down like that. It's that exact Bart Simpson pattern that may potentially play out. It looks bad. Essentially, what you're seeing over here is you have a failure. Well, firstly, you made a new swing low in relation to this area on ETH BTC, and then you failed to make a higher high. You rejected out of the primary resistance zone over here, and I would expect lower prices. This is at least ETH BTC, meaning that Bitcoin is probably going to outperform Ethereum over the next couple of weeks. So very short, quick update for you guys. If you enjoy this video again, please make sure that you smash the like button, hit the bell notification so you can be notified anytime that we do go live, subscribe to the channel, and then check out again. If you do want to get into the Discord, the link is below over here. Where's it? Here we go. Discord hub is over there. You just click that link. It will take you through. Fill in use one of these exchanges over here. It supports me, and then you will be able to get access into the VIP group. So guys, if you have any other questions, catch me over there in Discord. Also follow me on Twitter. There it is, Kyledoops on the top over there. Just type that in. Tweet to me, ask me if you have any questions or whatever, and I'll try and answer them throughout the day. Until then, I'll see you guys all in the next video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Trade safe out there, and don't overtrade, guys. You don't need to overtrade going into these major economic events. Cheers for now.